to something like 2, 3, perhaps only 4% of the people who work there, and the rest of them enjoy a very nice 9 to 5 day. So it is in railway preservation. And I don't believe for a second that we pay sufficient attention to those who are insane enough to want to actually take on projects like this and see it through. Railway preservation and divorce statistics will make a very interesting analysis for a book. And I do pay tribute to our wives, partners, and other categories of partnership that actually tolerate what we get up to do crazy things like this. It's a quintessentially British characteristic that we choose to spend vast amounts of the short span of our life on this planet bringing a piece of metal to life again. And very much the warmth and the heat that I can feel on my backside from that boiler that now represents the DNA is really flowing through the veins of this project. And I would like, on behalf of anyone who is what I would call a non-active participant, but one who nevertheless contributes in other ways, to pause for a second and pay tribute to those who are constantly at the sharp end. I am not one of those at the sharp end, but your board and the engineering staff most definitely is, and we take them and their efforts for granted at our peril. Now, I'm delighted to report that as you are well aware, the partnership which is evolving with the North Norfolk Railway is, despite the geographical remoteness from the northeast, well, it's only that way, is maturing nicely. I had the privilege of visiting North Norfolk in advance of this evolving. I was asked my views, and I'd already gained Hugh a really positive impression about the professionalism and in particular what I call the consistency of care that engines are afforded to. And if David Shepherd was whispering in my left ear, there are a bunch of good uns here, I could hardly ignore David Shepherd, the AGM. But I know that the engine is absolutely right for your line, and I think 43106 probably convinced you of that. Perfect machine. The line, in my experience, many of you will know, it's an optimum mix of length, ease of gradient, but the odd sharp gradient to make the loco actually sound like it's having to do some work. And I think that is in the long-term interest, certainly the first few years of its life, of this engine. So Hugh, welcome. We are delighted to be partners with you. I'm very impressed actually that the North Norfolk Railway has such a far-seeing locomotive policy that it can see the benefits of investing this far out from the point at which you would actually receive it. So much planning in our industry is actually short-term reaction to motive power shortages, and I think it does the railway credit that you have invested in the future, and we are your future.
I do like the look of them, and I like the way they perform. We've also used them on the North Norfolk and have always been pleased with what we've had. So it's nice to be having an engine like this down on the North Norfolk, and we're looking forward to running this engine out at our gala next March. As you probably know, we're going to do a purely standards gala. It's the first time, I believe, that has ever been done in preservation, to have a purely, I think, a purely standards gala. We'll have the 2 Britannias, we'll have the 9F Black Prince, we'll have a Class 2 standard, we'll have the 76084OpenDay2012, we'll have a 4MT tank from Llangollen, and we're trying to get a Caprotti standard 5. So we'll have 6, 7 engines out during that gala for 2 weekends in March. But the centrepiece, folks, will be 76084. That will be the star engine, and our plan at the moment is to have that running on a passenger train the first time, where we invite all of you to come and ride on that train. You can ride around on it all day for that matter, and next day for that matter, and we'll put a dining car on the train, and it'll be the special train of the day. That's our plan, okay?